Nick Knowles, 60, took to Twitter to blast the local council as he spotted a car being slapped with a ticket for parking on a single yellow when he was at a Christmas fair. Jeremy Vine, 57, who regularly stands up for cyclists, snapped back at the DIYSOS presenter, causing a war of words on Twitter. Nick shared a picture of the penalty notice charge on the car's windscreen along with a long statement where he hit out at wardens for giving motorists tickets at a Christmas fair. He said in view of his 173,500 followers, "Congrats Cirencester and Gloucester CNCLLSU hold a Christmas fair to get shoppers into town, and when they do and car parks are full, you ticket everyone parked on a single yellow on a Sunday, whole rows of them. Hell of a way to support local businesses by driving people away." Sick. Many social media users shared their views on the BBC presenter's statement, including journalist Jeremy Vine, reigniting the feud between the BBC presenters. Jeremy swiped in response, "Excellent work. Children on foot are the priority, not adults wedging large metal cages into places they don't fit." According to the Mail Online, Nick hit back, "More city folk telling people in the countryside how to live." This then led the supporters and detractors of both men to weigh in on their response to the online spat in the comments. In reply to Jeremy's Twitter message, @FitzroyWatson2 said, "Is this the only contribution Jeremy has?" Nick jibed, "Has still mad at me for calling him out on misrepresenting a story about police. He hands out criticism daily but gets very nasty when he is criticized. It's kinda sad. Gets all personal, so has been waiting several years for me to mention a car-related story." Jeremy's original message blasting adults' large metal cages was also responded to by another loyal DIYSOS fan. Mandage Baker said, "What about the people who can't walk? You make assumptions about people in cars all the time." Jeremy replied, "The reason people who can't walk often struggle to park the cars they rightly use, is because of selfish able-bodied people making short trips in theirs." Nick was then left to have to call out the argument on Twitter to stop the miserable, cynical and unable to read commenting on the situation. He stated, "It's extraordinary how miserable, cynical and unable to read and digest tweets some people are. I've stopped explaining it wasn't my car or the point I was trying to make and finally resigned myself to blocking the heart of thinking." The pair's frosty Twitter feud began back in 2020 when Nick called out the Channel 5 and BBC Radio 2 presenter on comments he had made, which the DIYSOS star believed suggested that Britain was becoming a police state. Nick joined in the criticism that Jeremy was receiving online when he wrote, "Well, if you were even-handed with a police instead of grinding your axe every time, you wouldn't have the problem." Jeremy, in response, then went on to list Nick's own motoring offences from the previous year, when he was fined and banned from driving after being caught speeding at 85 miles per hour in a 70 zone. He continued, "Every day, 5 people die on the roads. Often the drivers who cause these deaths are simply not aware of the consequences. The attitude that says a driving conviction is a joke is at the heart of the problem the police are trying to deal with." Furthermore, virtue signaling your support for the police at the expense of a fellow presenter only works if you have been law-abiding. Otherwise, it's hypocrisy. But a Nick Knowles supporter called Tom disagreed, saying, "That's a rubbish argument. The fact that he's been on the receiving end of police action and is still supportive shows class."